Let's talk about those moments. You walk into a room and completely forget why you're there. Or you're in the middle of telling a great story and the perfect word, a word you've used 1,000 times, just vanishes. It's frustrating, isn't it? And if you're like most of us, there's a little voice in the back of your head that asks, is this just a normal part of getting older? Or is it something more? Well, you are not alone in feeling this way. In fact, research shows that approximately 2 out of every 3 Americans will experience some level of cognitive impairment as they age. It's become one of the most feared conditions of aging. But what if I told you that the key to pushing back against this decline isn't found in a complicated brain game or some futuristic pill? What if the most powerful tool for building a younger-looking, more resilient brain is sitting in your kitchen right now? If you've been telling yourself, well, this is just what happens when you get older, I am here today to respectfully challenge that idea. The science is becoming clearer every single day. You have far more control over your brain health than you might think. In the next 25 minutes, we're going on a journey. We're going to count down the top 10 foods that form a powerful defense for your brain. And we're going to reveal the single, undisputed #1 food you should be eating for a younger-looking brain. This isn't about a magic cure. The problem we're tackling today is cognitive decline, that gradual, frustrating loss of sharpness that can affect our memory, our focus, and our confidence. Our ambitious goal is to give you a clear, practical, and empowering blueprint based on world-class research to help protect your most vital organ. To do this, we're not relying on fads or guesswork. We'll be drawing directly from research and guidelines from some of the most trusted institutions in America and the world, including the Mayo Clinic, the National Institute on Aging, and Johns Hopkins Medicine. The dietary strategy we'll be exploring is so effective, it's been given its own name, the MIND diet. That stands for Mediterranean-Intervention for Neurodegenerative Delay, and it's specifically designed to protect the aging brain. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to count down from number 10 to number 1, revealing the most powerful brain-protecting foods. For each one, we'll break down the simple science of why it works. I'll share a quick story or a way to think about it. And most importantly, I'll give you a simple, practical action step you can start using this week. And you'll definitely want to stick around for the top 3. They are the true heavy hitters in this fight. But before we dive in, let's clear something up that causes a lot of worry. It's completely normal to occasionally forget a name or where you put your keys. That's what experts call age-associated memory impairment. It can be annoying, but it doesn't stop you from living your life. Dementia is different. It's a more severe, noticeable decline that starts to interfere with your ability to manage daily life. Things like getting lost in familiar places, having trouble following a recipe, or being unable to manage your finances. The plan we're outlining today is a powerful way to support normal, healthy brain aging, and as the science strongly suggests, reduce the risk factors for that more serious decline. And a quick but important reminder, I am not a doctor. This video is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice from your own healthcare provider. Always consult your personal physician for any questions about your health, especially if you're experiencing concerning changes in your memory or thinking. All right, are you ready? Let's begin our countdown to a younger, sharper brain. All right, kicking off our countdown at number 10 is a food many of us eat regularly, poultry. But we're talking about choosing it smartly over other options that may not be as beneficial for the brain. So why poultry? The answer lies in 2 key nutrients, choline and vitamin B12. Let's start with choline. Think of choline as the raw material for one of your brain's most important chemical messengers, a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine. This messenger is absolutely critical for memory and learning. When your brain needs to form a new memory or recall an old one, acetylcholine is on the job. Not having enough choline is like trying to send mail without envelopes. The messages just can't get where they need to go. Vitamin B12, meanwhile, helps protect our precious nerve cells. It's essential for maintaining the healthy sheath that covers them, and a deficiency has been directly linked to cognitive decline, especially in older adults. I remember my aunt, who was sharp as a tack well into her 90s. Her meals were simple but incredibly consistent. It wasn't fancy, but there was almost always a piece of baked chicken or roasted turkey on her plate for dinner. She wasn't consciously following a diet. So here is your action step. The Mind Diet, which is our guide today, recommends at least 2 servings of poultry per week. This week, try swapping out one red meat meal, like a burger or a steak, for a simple baked or roasted chicken breast. And remember, how you cook it matters. The goal is baked, grilled, or roasted, not fried, which can add unhealthy fats that we want to limit. Now, it's important to mention, if you're on a vegetarian or vegan diet, you can absolutely get these nutrients elsewhere. But for anyone, if you're experiencing significant and persistent fatigue, weakness, or nerve-related symptoms, like tingling in your hands or feet, that's a very good reason to talk to your doctor about getting your B12 levels checked, regardless of what you eat. Coming in at number 9 is one of the most affordable and versatile health foods on the planet: beans and legumes. This includes everything from kidney beans and chickpeas to lentils and black beans. These humble foods are brain health champions for 3 big reasons. First, they are absolutely loaded with B vitamins, especially folate. Folate is crucial because it helps lower levels of an inflammatory compound in our blood called homocysteine. High levels of homocysteine are directly linked to brain degeneration and an increased risk for cognitive problems. So keeping it in check is a top priority. Second, their high fiber content provides a slow, steady release of glucose, which is your brain's primary fuel. This prevents the sharp energy spikes and crashes you get from sugary foods or refined carbs. That steady fuel supply is what helps maintain focus and prevent that dreaded brain fog. Third, they are a fantastic source of plant-based protein and magnesium. Magnesium is a mineral that helps regulate your brain's neurotransmitters, including serotonin, the feel-good chemical, which contributes to a stable mood and overall brain wellness. I have a friend who used to struggle with that classic afternoon slump. He'd have a big sandwich on white bread for lunch, and by 3 p.m., he felt foggy, irritable, and couldn't concentrate on his work. He made one small, simple change. He started adding a 3-bean salad as a side dish to his lunch. That extra fiber and steady energy made a world of difference. It wasn't a miracle. Your action step here is to aim for beans in at least 4 meals a week, according to the Mind Diet guidelines. Now, this might sound like a lot, but it's surprisingly easy to do. Add a scoop of chickpeas or kidney beans to your daily salad. Make a simple black bean soup for a couple of lunches during the week. Or try a hearty lentil stew for dinner. Even using hummus, which is made from chickpeas, as a dip for some veggie sticks counts. While beans are incredibly healthy, some people find they can cause gas or digestive issues. If that's you, don't give up on them. Start with smaller portions, and maybe try lentils first, as they're often easier for the body to digest. And of course, if you have ongoing, unexplained digestive distress, that's always a conversation to have with your doctor. At number 8, we have whole grains. And I want to be very clear from the start. This is the absolute opposite of the processed white bread, sugary pastries, and refined cereals that can be so damaging to our brain health. Like beans, whole grains are what we call complex carbohydrates, and they're packed with fiber. This means they break down slowly in your body, providing a steady, reliable stream of glucose to your brain. Think of it like the difference between putting a log on a fire versus a piece of newspaper. The newspaper, that's your white bread or sugary snack, flares up brightly for a moment and then burns out, leaving you with no energy. The log, that's your bowl of oatmeal or slice of whole grain bread, provides consistent, long-lasting energy. This is absolutely crucial for sustained focus, concentration, and memory throughout the day. Beyond just fuel, whole grains are also rich in those important B vitamins, which are essential for creating the neurotransmitters that allow your brain cells to communicate effectively with one another. Think about the classic American breakfast choice. A donut or a sugary pastry might give you a quick rush, but an hour later, you often feel tired and unfocused. Compare that to a simple bowl of old-fashioned oatmeal. It might not seem as exciting, but it keeps you feeling sharp and steady all morning long. That's the power of whole grains at work, right there on your breakfast table. The Mind Diet recommends at least 3 servings of whole grains a day. This is easier to achieve than it sounds. It's about making simple swaps. Swap your white bread for a bread that says 100% whole wheat on the package. Choose brown rice or quinoa instead of white rice with your dinner. Start your day with a bowl of steel-cut or rolled oats instead of a sugary cereal. The key is to look for the words whole grain as the very first ingredient on the label. Now, for individuals with celiac disease or a diagnosed gluten sensitivity, traditional whole grains like wheat, barley, and rye should be avoided. But the good news is there are many wonderful gluten-free whole grains to choose from, like quinoa, brown rice, millet, and certified gluten-free oats. If you suspect you have an issue with gluten, it's essential to get a proper diagnosis from a healthcare professional rather than just guessing. Number 7 on our list is the ultimate healthy convenience food, nuts. Specifically, we're talking about unsalted, raw, or roasted nuts like walnuts, almonds, and pecans. Nuts are a brain health triple threat. First, they are packed with healthy, unsaturated fats, including plant-based omega-3s, which are especially high in walnuts. Your brain is about 60% fat, so providing it with these high-quality building materials is essential for maintaining the health and structure of your brain cells. Second, they are a fantastic source of vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant that helps protect your brain cells from damage caused by oxidative stress. A simple way to think about it is that vitamin E acts like rust-proofing for your delicate neurons. Third, they provide that great combination of fiber and protein that helps stabilize your blood sugar, preventing those energy dips that can lead to brain fog. Just like we discussed with whole grains. I have a friend, Bob, who used to have a terrible habit of reaching for a bag of chips or a couple of cookies around 3 p.m. every day. He made a simple switch. He started keeping a small container of mixed nuts in his car and in his desk. He told me that not only did he feel more energized, but he felt clearer in the afternoons. He wasn't getting that sugar crash anymore. It's a small habit, but as a neurologist might say, he was making a daily investment in his cognitive bank account. The goal here is 5 or more servings of nuts per week. A serving isn't very big. It's just a small handful, or about 1/4 cup. This is an easy target to hit. Try sprinkling some chopped walnuts on your morning oatmeal or your lunchtime salad, or just have a handful of almonds as a satisfying afternoon snack. And here's a fun fact. If you've ever really looked at a walnut, it even looks like a little miniature brain, a great reminder of its incredible benefits. Now, it's important to be mindful that nuts are calorie-dense, so portion control is key. A small handful is all you need. And of course, if you have a nut allergy, this one is obviously not for you. But you can get similar healthy fats from seeds, like flax seeds and chia seeds, which are also wonderful for brain health. We've arrived at number 6, and it's a true game changer. We're talking about extra virgin olive oil. The Mind Diet doesn't just suggest this food. So what makes olive oil so special? In a word, it's the polyphenols. These are incredibly powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory compounds. Think of these polyphenols as a special forces team for your brain. They go to work fighting inflammation, which we know is a root cause of so many chronic diseases. They protect your brain cells from that rusting process of oxidative damage. And some exciting early research suggests they may even help the brain clear out the toxic amyloid plaques that are associated with Alzheimer's disease. On top of that, the healthy monounsaturated fats in olive oil are fantastic for your blood vessels. They help keep your arteries flexible and clear, ensuring your brain gets the steady, rich flow of oxygenated blood it needs to thrive. This is so important that some scientists now refer to Alzheimer's as a type of heart disease in the brain, because the connection between vascular health and brain health is just that strong. Think about the people who live in the Mediterranean region of the world, in places like Greece and Italy, where olive oil is a true staple of their diet. For generations, these populations have had some of the lowest rates of heart disease and dementia in the world. This isn't a coincidence. For centuries, they've been consuming this golden elixir, and modern science is finally catching up to explain exactly why it's so incredibly protective for the brain. Your action step here is a simple but powerful swap. Make extra virgin olive oil your main oil for cooking and for salad dressings. Drizzle it on your vegetables before you roast them. Use it to sauté chicken or fish, or simply mix it with some balsamic vinegar for a delicious and healthy dressing. The key is to consciously use it to replace less healthy fats like butter, margarine, and other vegetable oils. There are no major red flags here for most people. The most important thing is to look for the words extra virgin on the label. This means the oil is the least processed and contains the highest level of those protective polyphenol compounds. It is a healthy fat, but it's still a fat, so you'll want to use it reasonably as part of an overall balanced diet. All right, let's take a quick breath. We're halfway through our countdown, and we've already covered some incredible ground. We've talked about the importance of smart protein from poultry at number 10, the humble power of beans at number 9, the steady energy from whole grains at number 8, the perfect snack in nuts at number 7, and the golden elixir of extra virgin olive oil at number 6. Do you see the common thread here? Each of these foods helps fight what you could call the anti-aging trinity of brain health. They reduce inflammation, they fight oxidative stress, and they support healthy blood flow to the brain. These aren't just random good foods. And by the way, if you're finding this information valuable and empowering, it would mean the world to me if you'd just take a second to tap that like button below. It's a small click for you, but it tells YouTube that this is important information, and it helps other folks just like you find our community. Thank you so much for that. Now, are you ready for the top 5? This is where we get into the real heavy hitters, the foods that research shows have the most profound and direct protective effects on the brain. Let's jump in. Number 5 is all about painting your plate with a rainbow of colors. We're talking about all the other vegetables, with a special shout out to the cruciferous family. That's your broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts. Different colors in vegetables mean they contain different types of vitamins and powerful antioxidants. But the cruciferous family has a secret weapon called sulforaphane. This is an incredibly potent compound that actually ramps up your brain's own natural detoxification systems. It helps combat that oxidative stress. It fights inflammation. And some very exciting early studies even suggest it helps the brain clear out those toxic amyloid proteins we talked about earlier. Broccoli, in particular, is also packed with vitamin K and special antioxidants called carotenoids, like lutein, which are directly linked to better cognitive function and slowing the process of brain aging. You know how doctors always tell us to eat our vegetables? It can feel like such a vague command. But think of it this way. Every different colored vegetable you eat is like sending a different type of specialist to help your brain. The orange from carrots brings in beta-carotene. The red from bell peppers brings in vitamin C. And the green from broccoli brings in that super specialist, sulforaphane. When you eat a variety of colors, you're assembling a whole team of defenders for your brain. The Mind Diet goal is to eat at least one serving of a non-leafy green vegetable each day. A simple way to do this is to make sure your lunch or dinner plate is at least half full of vegetables. Have a side of steamed broccoli with your dinner. Add chopped bell peppers to a stir-fry, or snack on some carrots and hummus in the afternoon. One important note: for people who are on certain blood thinners like warfarin, it's important to keep your intake of vitamin K consistent, and vegetables like broccoli are very high in it. This doesn't mean you can't eat them. In fact, they're very healthy, but you should discuss it with your doctor to make sure your intake is steady from day to day, so your medication can be dosed correctly. Coming in at a powerful number 4 is fatty fish. We're talking about cold water fish like salmon, mackerel, herring, and sardines. This all comes down to one superstar nutrient: omega-3 fatty acids, and specifically a type of omega-3 called DHA. Here's the most important thing to know. Your brain is made of fat, and DHA is the primary structural fat in your brain cells and in your retina. Think of it like this. If you're building a brick wall, you want strong, high-quality bricks. DHA is that high-quality, flexible brick for your brain's cell membranes. It keeps your brain cells fluid and flexible, which allows them to communicate with each other effectively. A diet rich in these omega-3s helps dramatically reduce inflammation throughout the body and brain, and it lowers the risk of heart disease and stroke, which is fantastic for the brain's critical blood supply. It's no surprise, then, that a higher intake of fatty fish is consistently linked to a lower risk of dementia. I once heard a neurologist, Dr. Vernon Williams, say that things like consistent sleep and a good diet are simply non-negotiable for brain health. And when you look at the diets that neurologists themselves recommend, fatty fish is always right there at the top of the list. This isn't just about healthy eating in a general sense. The Mind Diet recommends eating fish at least once a week. If you're not used to cooking fish, start simple. A baked salmon fillet with a little olive oil, lemon, and herbs is incredibly easy and delicious. And don't forget about high-quality canned options. A tuna salad sandwich on whole grain bread or adding canned salmon to a big salad are fantastic, affordable ways to meet this important goal. Some people worry about mercury in fish. The good news is that for most people, the incredible brain and heart benefits of eating fish far outweigh the potential risks. Smaller, oily fish like sardines and salmon are typically lower in mercury. If you are pregnant or have specific health conditions, it's always best to consult your doctor about the best types and amounts of fish for you. Get ready to smile. At number 3, we have a delightful duo that a growing body of research suggests can be a wonderful part of a brain-healthy diet when used correctly: dark chocolate and coffee. Let's start with dark chocolate. And we're talking about the good stuff, 70% cocoa or higher. Its power comes from compounds called flavonols, which are potent antioxidants and have strong anti-inflammatory effects. These flavonols do amazing things for the brain. They actually improve blood flow to the brain, which can boost attention, processing speed, and memory in the short term. And in the long term, they help protect those precious brain cells from damage. Now, for coffee. Its magic is primarily in the caffeine. Caffeine works by blocking a chemical in your brain called adenosine, which is what builds up during the day and makes you feel sleepy. By blocking adenosine, caffeine increases alertness, helps with concentration, and can even improve your mood by stimulating the release of dopamine, one of your brain's pleasure and motivation chemicals. Looking at the big picture, long-term studies have linked regular, moderate coffee consumption to a significantly lower risk of developing both Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. We all know that feeling of a morning cup of coffee waking up our brain. That's a real biological effect. But I want you to start thinking about it as more than just a wake-up call. That daily ritual could be part of a long-term protective strategy for your mind. And having a small square of dark chocolate in the afternoon isn't just an indulgent treat. The key word for this category is moderation. For dark chocolate, a small square or two a day is plenty. You need to look for 70% cocoa or higher on the label to get the most flavonols and the least amount of sugar. For coffee, most of the research points to the benefits coming from about 1 to 3 cups per day. And it's best to avoid it in the late afternoon or evening so it doesn't interfere with your sleep, which, as we know, is also absolutely crucial for brain health. Of course, if caffeine makes you feel jittery, anxious, or disrupts your sleep, then it's simply not the right choice for you. And dark chocolate still contains calories and some sugar, so it should be enjoyed as a small part of an overall healthy diet, not a free-for-all. People with certain heart conditions should also speak to their doctor about their caffeine intake. Our runner-up for the #1 brain food is a true superstar: berries. We're talking about blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries. If oxidative stress is like rust on the brain, then berries are the most powerful rust-proofer you can possibly eat. They are absolutely packed with antioxidants called flavonoids, particularly a type called anthocyanins, which are responsible for their rich red, blue, and purple colors. These compounds are experts at seeking out and neutralizing those damaging free radicals we've been talking about. What's amazing is that they can cross the blood-brain barrier and go to work directly inside the brain, where they help reduce inflammation and protect our neurons from damage and even death. Study after study has directly linked a higher intake of berries to improved memory and significantly slower rates of age-related cognitive decline. Dr. Martha Claire Morris, the brilliant researcher who created the Mind Diet, specifically called out berries as being more beneficial for the brain than other types of fruit because of their unique and powerful concentration of these protective compounds. Think of it this way. While all fruits are good for you, berries are in a league of their own. They are the special forces of the fruit world, sent on a specific mission to protect your brain cells. Your action step here is a delicious one. The Mind Diet recommends eating berries at least twice a week. This is a goal most of us would be happy to meet. Add a handful of blueberries to your yogurt or oatmeal in the morning. Toss some sliced strawberries into a salad for a touch of sweetness. Or simply enjoy a bowl of mixed berries for a healthy and satisfying dessert. And here's a great tip. Frozen berries are just as nutritious as fresh ones, and they're often more affordable and available year-round, so you can enjoy their benefits no matter the season. There are virtually no downsides to eating berries for most people. They do contain natural sugar, of course, but their high fiber content helps to manage its impact on your blood sugar. making them a safe and wonderful choice. And here we are, the #1 undisputed champion of brain protective foods, the absolute cornerstone of the mind diet. It is leafy green vegetables. Why are leafy greens like spinach, kale, collards, and even romaine lettuce #1? Because they are overflowing with a unique and powerful combination of brain-specific nutrients. They contain lutein, folate, vitamin K, and beta-carotene, all in one package. One groundbreaking study from Rush University in Chicago produced a result that should stop all of us in our tracks. They found that older adults who ate just 1 to 2 servings of leafy greens a day had the cognitive abilities, the memory, the thinking skills of people 11 years younger than those who ate little to no greens. These nutrients work together as a team to powerfully reduce inflammation and fight that oxidative stress we've talked so much about. Vitamin K is involved in biological pathways that keep our neurons healthy and functioning properly. Folate, as we know, helps keep those inflammatory homocysteine levels low. And lutein is a special antioxidant that actually accumulates in the brain and is directly linked to preserved cognitive function over time. Let me put that 11-year statistic another way, because it is so important. Imagine you're 75 years old. According to this research, making the simple choice to eat a salad every day could give your brain the functional age of a 64-year-old. That is a stunning, powerful, and deeply empowering finding. This isn't about living forever. This is the most important action step of all. The Mind Diet recommends 6 or more servings of leafy greens per week. A serving is about 1 cup raw, like in a salad, or a half cup cooked. I want you to think of this as your top priority. Have a big salad for lunch every day. Add a big handful of fresh spinach to your morning omelet or smoothie. It will wilt down to almost nothing. Sauté some kale with a little garlic and olive oil as a side dish for your dinner. Make this a non-negotiable part of your daily routine. Just like with broccoli, if you are on blood thinners, you'll want to talk to your doctor about maintaining a consistent intake of leafy greens because of their high vitamin K content. Again, the goal is consistency, not avoidance. As we've seen today, protecting your brain isn't about one magic food or a single pill. It's about a pattern. It's about building a delicious shield of protection one meal at a time. From the healthy fats in olive oil and fish, to the steady energy of whole grains and beans, to the antioxidant powerhouses in berries and, of course, leafy greens. Each one plays a vital, strategic role in fighting off inflammation, oxidative stress, and poor blood flow. But the most important message I want you to take away from our time together today is this. You are the chief executive of your own health. You are not a passive bystander to the aging process. The choices you make in your kitchen every single day are among the most powerful tools you have to maintain your cognitive vitality, your independence, and your quality of life. As the great Henry Ford once said, anyone who keeps learning stays young. The greatest thing in life is to keep your mind young. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these 10 points was the biggest aha moment for you? Was it the surprising power of berries, or that incredible 11-year benefit of leafy greens? Please, leave a comment down below. I truly read every single one, and your stories, your questions, and your insights are what make this community so special. If you found this deep dive helpful, and you want more empowering, science-backed content to help you live your healthiest, most vibrant life, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the little notification bell so you never miss a video. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Remember, every healthy choice you make is an act of self-respect and an investment in your future. Here's to your health. Here's to your sharp and vibrant mind. And I'll see you in the next video.